So I read Hawkman #1. Just kind of picked this one up on a whim. Didn't expect to like it. Totally loved it. This is a great book. I talked about it earlier. So the same thing happened again with, well, not the same thing, but I picked up Doctor Strange pretty much for the same reasons. Didn't expect too much from it. Hoped I would like it. It is what it is. Let's talk about it. All right, so Doctor Strange #1. This is a whole new, I guess Marvel's doing all new #1s. Again, surprise, surprise. I think they do it now twice a year, not just every year. But this time around, they are keeping what they call legacy numbering. So technically this would be Doctor Strange 391, though we're just going to call it Doctor Strange #1. So the book opens up with this great sequence. Doctor Strange is fighting this bad guy, and it's really good. It's the art is great. The action is cool, and he beats this bad guy back. Rah, zap, stop, and he locks him into this other dimension here, and they get stuck. But this is great art. Check this out. The dimension is still open, and so he needs to sew it up. So he is a surgeon after all. Think like a surgeon, Stephen. And he stitches up this kind of wound in the fabric of the universe for the most part. Look at him. Whoop, gets it done. And so I'd like to see Iron Man do that. Ha! Hear me, gods and devils everywhere. Is that the best you've got? This is my home, my world, my dimension. It's under my protection. I am magic incarnate. I am the Sorcerer Supreme. But that was in the past. So 7 years later, that's now. There's a sequence where he loses the ability to see magic. First loses it in his left eye, and then his right eye. And so he's kind of shut off. He can't read his spells. All of his trinkets don't work anymore. So anyway, so Steven, he's lost his magic, and he's in a bad place. Steven's in a real bad place. This is a great sequence here. Great. And all along, just like in the Hawkman book, there's these kind of entries that are kind of explaining what's going on with Steven. They're very. I would have liked to know more about this panel with a woman crying and Steven over here. I'm not sure what's happening here because it's 1 month later. So Steve, he's in a bad way. He's trying to get his life going again, trying to adapt to be a normal person, and it's just not working out for him. So here we are. This is the first issue I have. First off, this is Mikhail's Bar and Grill. This is an actual real location in New York City, and it's a strange place to find a recovering alcoholic. You usually don't find recovering alcoholics like Tony Stark here. Yes, that mush-faced looking character is Tony Stark. You don't usually find them in bars. It's just not something that their sponsor would advise them to hang out in. But they do make a point of showing he is having club soda. So Tony Stark has hit rock bottom in the past and managed to pull himself back up. So Steven is asking the same thing, saying, I've hit rock bottom. How do I get back up from it? But Tony's like, no, we can fix this. We can fix your magic. So Tony comes up with this idea. Well, magic's throughout the whole universe. Why don't you go in space and see if you can find other talismans, other exotic relics? Wouldn't you imagine? So anyway, he's encouraging him to go into outer space. And Steven's like, nah, I'm not going to do it. And there's this great little speech here. If you're our firewall that guards us from magical invasion, if you've truly exhausted all other options, then can you really afford not to take any chance there might be to protect billions of people? Where's the ship? And there's a strange thing. So Tony teaches him how to fly his spaceship. Tony has a spaceship that can fly across the universe. It's like a jump ship. It's 2018 and Tony's got a spaceship. It seems like the world would be a little different place if everybody had access to spaceships. So anyways, we're going to ignore that. It's kind of a leap of faith here in the story. Steven takes off into space. He's trying to find some place that has magic. But he gets hit by a meteorite and he's coming crashing down. The people on the planet, they send out drones to help save him. They bring him down to safety. So this is a very Kirby-esque looking city. I really like this. It's digital art, clearly, but it has kind of that Kirby vibe, kind of like what we saw in Thor Ragnarok, the design of the buildings. Very in that Jack Kirby style. So the ship comes down for landing. Steven gets out. The spacesuit he's in kind of looks like Tony's armor. And he's like, thank you for rescuing me. I'm happy to make good if you can just direct me to a fellow magic wielder. What is magic? So what? So I'm not going to, there's a couple more pages left. I'm not going to talk about those. But Steven's finally found a planet with other humanoids on it. and they have no idea what magic is. So he's kind of still stuck without his magic, and then something else happens after that. I'm not going to reveal it. I know the issue 3 is already out, but I feel, if the last page of the book should be saved for somebody who actually buys the book. But there's a couple things I want to talk about. At first, when I first sat down and read the book, I was really enjoying it. And then when I finished, I closed it and I was like, all right, so this is what happened in the book. Stephen lost his magic. Tony gave him a spaceship. He flew to another planet. That's all that happens in this book. For all of this, it's who's the writer? Let's see, Mark Waid. Mark Waid is the writer, and he writes great dialogue. Well, the opening action sequence was cool, but he writes this great dialogue and this great kind of running narration through the story, and it's really good. And it's really well written. I mean, if you actually read it, it's well written script. It's a well written book. However, not a lot happens in this book. I'm going to say I kind of felt left out in the cold with nothing really happening in the book except for those 3 main plot points that I said. He loses magic. He goes see Tony Stark. Tony Stark gives him a spaceship, and he goes out in outer space. That's kind of what happened. My one issue I had with the book was there's a lot of contradictions. At one point, Stephen says he's not going to. He doesn't want to deal with other magicians on Earth because he's afraid that if he's the cause of losing his magic, he doesn't want to cause other people in case it's contagious. However, in a later piece of dialogue, the text boxes actually contradict themselves. In one place, they say he doesn't want to talk to other magicians because he doesn't want to infect them. But then here it says he talks to all of them and finds no solution. So it's kind of, who's the editor on this book? That's something you'd hope the editor would catch. Nick Lowe. Nick Lowe should have caught that. That's on him. You want to blame Mark Waid for writing it, but, when you're writing, you sometimes get caught up in the script. That's where the editor's supposed to come in and help you. For this being really the first Doctor Strange book I've ever read, I was a little disappointed. I enjoyed it while I was reading it because, like I said, it's so well written, you enjoy reading it. But when you close the book and realize what you read, there's just not much to it. So as much as I really recommend and enjoyed, I was surprised how much I enjoyed Hawkman. I did enjoy Doctor Strange, but I really can't recommend it because for $4, not a lot happens in it. I'll probably check out the second issue, and hopefully things get a little better from there. But while I have you on the line, let me tell you about what else is going on. I think I mentioned in a previous video, we have the Spider-Man 300 variant for our 3rd issue of Sugar Burgers. It's available on our website right now at cosmictimes.net. And if you order it now, well, at least before July 12th, you'll get not only the issue 3 variant, will include the issue 1 variant, and the issue 2 variant at no additional charge. So just go on the website, order the Sugar Boogers issue 3 variant, and you'll get these 2 books for free. These were retailer variants made available to retailers. And this one actually it's kind of our own variant. There's only been 75 copies printed, and I know that at least 20 have sold up to this point. Head over to cosmictimes.net, pick up Sugar Boogers variant 3, and also get 1 and 2 for no additional charge. And look at these covers. They are great. Look at that. And then, of course, the Spider-Man 300 variant, you want to get a copy of that because that's cool and there's so few of them. So back to what I said before, Doctor Strange, I can't really recommend it unless you're really into Doctor Strange or you really just like Mark Waid's writing. It's well written. Again, it's well written. Pick up Hawkman if you get a chance. And also, hey, if you're watching this on Facebook, thanks for watching. Please share it. Let me know what you think about it. Offer some opinions on other books I should be reading. If you're watching this on YouTube, do the same. Offer up some more opinions on books I should be reading that maybe I'm not. And please like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell so you're notified whenever a new video comes up. And I think that's about it. So again, Doctor Strange, I'm going to read issue 2. Hopefully it gets better. Again, it's a well put together book, amazing art, well written, but the story is a little lackluster. So that's about it. Until next time, everybody, stay cosmic.